Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz. Today, we'll be talking about 2A news and conservative views. And as you know, I come from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, and I am your co-host, the co-host from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most. The coast with the that's right. Here on the Rundown, 2A News and Conservative Views. It's getting to be a long weekend already, Craig. Can you tell?
Oh, most definitely, sir. Most definitely, sir. My weekend actually did begin. I did get a chance to begin my weekend last night. Even though we're doing the program today, I consider
Right.
this all fun. So I'm
Yeah.
just chilling, having a good time.
It is it's a very good thirsty Thursday here. In fact, I'm a little. Hold on, let me have a beverage. I'm a little thirsty.
Your DeSantis land mug.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Well,
Have a little sip of the bubbly.
well, seeing
Uh,
as how I am still in California, I don't get to enjoy DeSantis land until hopefully one day he is elected president of these United States.
I tried to ship you one of these mugs, but it got returned with a stamp for the California Department of Justice on it. It didn't make it across the
They're
border.
like, nope.
Yeah.
This is contraband in California.
Yeah, yeah.
You might as well
You
try to
can't.
shift send him a 50 cal.
That's it. Yeah, this is an assault weapon mug, according to California.
An assault mug. There you go. They found it offensive. Therefore,
That's it.
it's not allowed in the state of California.
Yep,
It
exactly
it be
right.
what it be, man. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Hey, folks, if however you're checking us out, do us a favor. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And by the way, also encourage your friends to do the same. Let them know there are tons of ways in which you can enjoy this program. If you want to watch it on Spotify or on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, or on OpsLens, or you can listen to the program wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be iHeartRadio, Spotify once again, or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can get us. And actually, it'll actually already be downloaded automatically to your phone if you want to hook it up like that. But however you do it, do it.
I love the Apple. I love the Apple. That's a good one. That's an easy one to do, right?
Apple Podcasts are incredibly easy because you just set it and it'll automatically download it. So, like, let's say you're going to someplace where you might have spotty internet, or you're
Monkey
just
pox?
hopping on the plane and you want to listen to something.
Gotcha.
You don't have to have already downloaded it because it'll already have downloaded it for you. You can
Yep.
set the settings so
Yep.
it'll do that.
Yep, very good. Those settings are wonderful. Yep,
Yes,
exactly
they are.
right.
Yes,
So,
they are.
good stuff. Good
How
stuff.
about a quick shout out to our sponsors before we begin?
Yeah, let's say hi to our friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the last 5 year, odds are you probably already have one of their barrels. But now you could buy them direct. You can upgrade your barrel. You can get a barrel for your new build. So go to hitmanindustries.net and get you one. The California Republican Assembly. These are the folks fighting the good fight behind the enemy lines there. Reach out, touch them with your donations. Work best, folks. We don't fight these fights without cash. And then, of course, if you want some excellent combat gear, go to uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They're the ones who allow us to be able to come to you. So do us a favor. Why don't you go to them? Just follow the link in the description of this program. Check them out. If you like what you see, and I'm sure you will, kick them down some cash. Buy some products. Support their organization. And let them know that it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you.
Tell them we said, duh.
Then we said, what's up? All right, let's get into today's stories. This first one was interesting, and it actually happened over the weekend. I watch a lot of the liberal media so that you don't have to. And one of the things that I came across over the weekend, and we're just now getting an opportunity to report it because it took me a while to actually get the video. But during an interview with Meet the Press, our vice president, Kamala Harris, former senator from California, former attorney general from California, former girlfriend, side piece to Willie Brown, the former speaker of the assembly. We like to call him King Willie. She, during her interview, was asked by Chuck Todd if the border was secure. And she was given a couple of opportunities to address this question and address it appropriately. The first time, well, you know what? I'll let you watch the video, and then we'll comment about it afterwards.
Final topic here, since we're here in Texas, I want to ask you about the border. Would you call the border secure?
I think that there is no question that we have to do what the president and I asked Congress to do. Is the first request we made. Pass a bill to create a pathway to citizenship. The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system, in particular over the last 4 years before we came.
All right, so the first thing she said was, we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which, by the way, was not an answer to the question. And then she turned around and said, the border is secure. He started off the interview, Mike, by about this section of the interview. This is the last question that he asked. He started off with over 2 million people have crossed our southern border into the country. By the way, that we know of. Right? That's a combination of the getaways and the ones that we've actually got caught, right? 2 million. Right. So far, year to date, not over the last year, but just this year. And by the way, which is a record already, and we're not even to December. But she says, we have a secure border.
Yeah, she's, this is why her ratings are the lowest ever for a vice president. You're right. Because every time she speaks, it's a special kind of dumb, right? It's not like AOC dumb. This is just this is like an ignorant, never learned anything dumb, as opposed to the AOC where she thinks she has the answers to everything and it's just ridiculous. So you've got her here saying the border's secure, but Craig, if you really think about what she said, we have our immigration plan, the border's secure. So I believe their immigration plan is to open the gates. We have a secure border, Craig. We just have the gates open right now. We're not stopping anybody. So our immigration plan is to let everybody through the secure border. I guess they can secure it anytime they want, but they've decided not to.
Well, but I don't get me wrong. I definitely believe we need to take a look at our immigration system. My wife's family went through it. It is a long process that probably is a lot more arduous than it needs to be. Only because, and then once again, I'm not talking about, I'm all down for, the background checks, the information, the interviews, all the stuff you have to do to verify that you are who you say you are, that you're not a bad actor coming into our country. I'm all for making sure that we address all of those issues. But making sure that, for example, when my wife, when they would have to go down, they would have to drive all the way to San Francisco, do this meeting and talk about the file. And by the way, if the file wasn't there, then they'd have to come back months later and reschedule. So anyway, it was a big mess, a big problem. But the problem that we're talking about here is there are people who are literally just walking across our southern border, and you have places, states and cities in the United States that are offering people who do that, come here and we'll give you free health care, we'll give you free education, we'll give you a place to live. They're providing all of these benefits, and then we're wondering why people by the millions are crossing our southern border. By the way, let me ask you this. If people just started walking into her house, right, would she consider her front door secure?
Well, once again, her front door is secure. It's just her policy is to let everybody in.
Well, but what if she doesn't want everybody in? What if she said, no, I don't want everybody here in my house? I want to know who's coming in and out of my house.
Well, I agree with you. I want to know who's coming in and out of my house.
Right.
I have a nice, secure house, but if I leave the door open and invite everybody in, it's still secure. I'm just letting everybody in.
No, it's not secure till it's locked. When it's locked and you know who's coming in, when your desire to know and understand and control who is entering and or leaving your home, or in this case, your country, if that is not in place, then no, it is not secure. We do not have a secure border.
Here's what I'm saying. So imagine, let's go to the wall. Let's stop using the analogies. You have the wall, right? And the wall goes out and the fence goes out. That's secure. They have a checkpoint for letting people in through. Just because people are coming through the checkpoint does not mean the border is not secure.
No, we do not have a secure border. I'm sorry. You're not going to with semantics get in my opinion well, so here's the funny
Not
part.
going through
Right?
semantics. They're letting people into checkpoints, Craig. There's you know how many
Well,
there's so
but-
few people
but-
jumping the
but-
gates right now and jumping
Mike,
the walls because they know they
but
can go to the
Mike,
checkpoint and walk
right.
straight in.
But Mike, the point is that those are just the people that they've caught. Those are just the people that they've caught. We know that there are a ton of people that they have not caught, that they have no idea about. I mean, it's one thing if you're saying, okay, well, we're just letting them in. It's another thing if when you know that there are what they call quote unquote gotaways, once again,
Right.
people who there is no regulation, no nothing, no anything, no, we're letting you in. No, they are gotaways. They got away. And then there's the people who we don't even know about, who we don't even know that they got away. And we know there's a bunch of them.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify a statement. It is not my belief that the
Okay.
border is secure.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go. There you go. Okay.
My
All right.
explanation is what her belief is. Her
Got
belief
it.
is
Okay.
the border's secure. We're just letting people in through the checkpoint.
There you go.
That's
okay.
her belief, not mine.
That is an appropriate clarification. Thank you so much for that. I'm wondering though how secure she believes the border is right now because Mike, I don't know if you've been watching the news or you watched the news this morning, but there were actually and you gotta love our folks down there in Texas. Greg Abbott sent 2 buses to the vice president's home, to the Naval Observatory residence in D.C. So they just took him there to the Naval Observatory and dropped him off. Now, mind you, and let us be clear. These are people who are volunteering. They are not like requiring anybody. They're not saying, hey, if now that you're here, you have to get on this bus. They're saying, is there anybody here who wants to go to D.C. or wants to go to the vice president? They're asking them. And these are people who are volunteering, right?
Listen, can you imagine this volunteer process though? This is probably one of those. They're standing outside, and they got the buses, and they go, "Hey, your conditions here are horrible. Who wants to go to the vice president's house?" Oh, okay, we'll go.
Yeah, we'll go.
We'll go. That's it. On the bus. Let's go.
Well, look, you came into the country illegally.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I agree that it is a solid political statement. I don't know that it is the most humane. And I say that only in this respect. You know that the cities that they are being sent to are lying and being facetious in that they offer that they are sanctuary cities. The truth is they don't have the resources. They haven't set aside the resources. They just made a political statement. And quite frankly, they're not prepared to address and handle these folks. And so you're sending them into situations where you know they are not able to take care of them. Now, the funny part is that the people in these cities, whether it's Chicago, New York, or Chicago, New York, or Washington, D.C., they will not admit that, we lied. We don't really offer sanctuary to illegal immigrants. We aren't prepared to take care of you. I know we told you we would, and I know we told you we could, but we can't and we won't.
Now, Craig, listen, the move to one observatory circle there is a classy move. Is a classy move, right? Good tactics. But did you see what Captain Florida did this week? Did you see where he sent them?
Oh yes. Captain Florida sent a plane load of illegal immigrants. By the way, these are immigrants who were flown to Florida by the federal government.
Yep.
Without telling Florida, without giving them, just like these are people who came into the country illegally, they shipped them to Florida. So he decided to send them to Mar-a-Lago.
No. Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stand correct. Now, you are 100% correct. He did not send them to Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
Total verbal blunder on my part. He sent them to
Verbal
Martha's
goof.
Vineyard.
It's okay.
you.
Martha's Vineyard, who just got done saying we're a sanctuary city, and he went, "Oh, all right, I got something for your pants here. There you go. Everybody back on the plane. Back on the plane." Didn't tell anybody they were coming, and they got off. Listen, you sent them to Chicago, New York, D.C. That's big city stuff. That's going to have a little bit of impact. It's going to be good for publicity. You sent them to Martha's Vineyard, and you put 200 of these illegal immigrants wandering around Martha's Vineyard, something may get done.
Well,
Something may get done. You're dropping them on Obama's, summer home. You're dropping
exactly.
them, and you're dropping them in rich liberal towns now.
Right.
Something they might actually go. Hold on a second here. Wait a second. We didn't mind sending them to New York or Chicago, but no.
And by the way, these are towns that, by the way, probably that do have the resources. They don't have anything set up. They don't have any programs, but they do have the resources to be able to deal with at least a couple of hundred.
Yeah.
Although once they start taking care of them, more are going to be sent there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, listen, I really think that, and I love the DC move. I love sending them to her house. Those are great symbolic gestures. But I love sending them to places like this where it was just, wow, we're a rich town, and we're all liberals, and we're a sanctuary city. They said it just to say it, just to get on record. And now that they're there, listen, you're gonna get a big case of not in my backyard now from these liberals.
Well, and here's the thing: making political statements. When you decide you want to make a political statement as an official government entity, that's not just a political statement; it's a policy statement. And eventually, you're going to be called on to implement to affect that policy. And in this particular case, they say they're a sanctuary city. Well, guess what? We have some folks who need sanctuary.
I don't know how Texas did it, but here in Florida with Captain Florida, Governor DeSantis, this past legislative cycle, Craig, the special one we had a couple of months ago, they passed a bill, and it's so it's law now. He requested $12 million from the budget to take illegal immigrants that are sent here by the federal government and to send them to sanctuary cities. So Florida has a $12 million fund to reroute illegal immigrants that the Fed sent here.
But you know what? So now here's what's hysterical. How the media is covering it. Because the media is like, oh my God, can you believe that they're spending $12 million of Florida taxpayer dollars to send these folks, to put them on a plane and send them to somewhere else. They said the same thing in Texas. But here's the funny part, Mike. If you actually look at it, if it's, for Texas, for example, if you send just 1,000 people, right? At the amount of money it costs to feed, clothe, educate, and house each illegal immigrant, they're saving money by sending them out of town.
Yep. Florida said we are not a sanctuary state. No sub municipalities below the state are authorized under law to become sanctuary cities or counties. So they wrote it into our budget that said, you know what, if they get dropped here, we'll send them to one of those sanctuary cities. It's only fair for them, Craig. Right. We don't have the services. We'll send them to those places that do.
Well, exactly. And that right there is the key. Now, what I will say is this, and this is why I go back to the whole, it is a bit inhumane, and I say it, I call it a bit inhumane, is because you and I both know, and now we've got major cities have admitted they aren't set up. They don't have the resources to actually affect or implement the policy that they say they have.
Yeah.
And so to a certain degree, you're sending them someplace they are not going to be taken care of.
We talked about New York yesterday. I remember we talked about the Department of Homeless Services, right? And the budget shortfalls. This morning, the mayor announced we may need to get rid of that policy. We may need to get rid of the whole everybody gets a shelter over their head if we're going to survive. They're hurting, Craig. They're hurting.
Well, because once again, policy, you don't just get to make a statement and a political statement when you are holding elective office. When you pass a policy, it is now policy, right? You are expected to implement that policy. And unfortunately, and sadly, New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and other major cities that have passed, or states that have passed these sanctuary policies, are not prepared to deal with them. Except for the state of California. Now, the state of California has put things in place to be able to address that. And by the way, that's also the reason why we have the largest homeless population in the entire country, because people know. as long as California is still handing out free stuff to illegal immigrants, to people, criminals who've been released from jail, to the homeless. As long as they know we're still handing out free stuff, people are going to continue to flock to California.
Yeah, and California's got all the money to support it. That's why they can do things like, give everybody electricity all day long.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't get electricity all day long, Mike. Look, I'm sorry. That is for, privileged folk. That's for folks like who are in states that exercise and allow white privilege, right?
There you go,
Electricity is
white
look,
privilege.
that is a benefit of white privilege is what that is.
Yep. Yep. They don't call it a whiteout, Craig. What do they call it?
Exactly. They don't call it a whiteout.
Who we giving power to? Oh, the brownout. Get the brownout. Get the brownout. Yep.
Yeah. Just saying. I'm not saying, just saying.
Yep.
All right. Now, but here's the thing. The vice president, by the way, is not the only person out there that is claiming that that the border is secure. But in this case, they're not claiming that the White House is not claiming, Mike, that the border is secure. What they're claiming is that they have done more to secure the border than did the Trump administration. And here is KJP, the the spokesperson for the White House, when pushed on the idea that the border is secure.
Over the weekend, the vice president said that the border is secure, but we're on track to close the fiscal year with 2 million encounters, breaking last year's record. In the last month alone, fentanyl seizures are up 200%, and we're on pace to break that record also this year. So how is the border secure?
So we see record seizures of fentanyl at the border, so we're actually catching fentanyl before it enters the country. So that's how we see that. Look, as far as the border, we're taking unprecedented action. We had to fix something that was broken, especially by the last administration. We've secured record levels. This is what we have been able to do, of funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, many Republicans voted against that. Many of them who would like to invite me to the border have actually voted against that. We've made over 3,000 arrests as part of a first of its kind anti-smuggling campaign. We've installed border technology and set up joint patrols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch traffickers. We've got Mexico to agree to pay $1.5 billion to improve border processing and security through smart, proven border management solutions. And the president brought 20 world leaders together to collectively manage migration flows across Western Hemisphere. Compare that to the Trump administration, which largely just tried to build a wall, an ineffective wall, along the border, and couldn't even finish that in 4 years. We're certainly doing a lot more to secure the border, and could be doing even more if Republicans would stop their obstruction.
All right, there are just so many things that are wrong with what she just said, but I want to give you an opportunity to take first stab at it.
First off, when you put KJP, I did not realize that's who you were talking about. I thought you were talking about some basketball player, KJP. I didn't know you were talking about her. She's the, now if I recall right, she's the black Jewish handicapped LGBT Cowboys fan, right? That's her credentials or whatever she has.
She's not a Cowboys fan.
Well, that's what you said.
And I don't believe she's Jewish.
Oh, this just in, by the way, Craig. The Cowboys have been eliminated from the playoffs next year as well. Just so you know.
You talk a lot about the Cowboys for someone who doesn't watch football.
Oh, I watch football, but that's just not what the Cowboys play. You know.
All right, you suck. Go. Moving right along.
Over the weekend, the vice president said that the border is secure.
Come back. Let's get back to her. So, Craig, they asked about securing the border. All right, clearly talking about immigrants, but she went straight to fentanyl. Are we talking about illegal fentanyl immigrants coming across? I don't, where she just went with that. She made the reference to correcting the border deficiencies from the previous administration. Were the walls too tall, Craig? Was that the problem? They couldn't get over them as easy. So now with our current policy, they can get over the walls because we're shortening the walls. That's the only thing I could think of, Craig, that the walls and the border were too secure and we had to go back and make it less secure for everybody to get over and hurdle the walls.
Well, Mike, so the whole point about the fentanyl is there's a record amount of fentanyl that is coming into the country through our southern border, and they're catching more people with fentanyl because there's more fentanyl coming across the border, and they're only catching a fraction of the fentanyl that is coming across our southern border. And by the way, and I'm sure you know this, there is a fentanyl. They say overdose. I say poisoning crisis because they're putting fentanyl in everything. So there are no quote unquote recreational drugs that are available out there where you do not take the chance of being poisoned with fentanyl. So that's number one. The number two, she talked about building wall. Well, wait a minute. It was Democrats who consistently stood in the way of any funding to be able to finish the wall. Yep. But by the way, and let's just talk about let's not just talk about passage of implementation of programs or things like that. Let's talk about this: the fact that under Donald Trump, we saw numbers for the first time go down, decrease by record numbers in terms of people trying to come into the United States. It was, illegally. It was for the first time in decades those numbers went down significantly. Because guess what? He made it a point to say, look, if you come here, we are not going to just let you in.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I just don't understand how they in their right minds. And by the way, the reason why they wanted increased funding they didn't want it for border security. What they wanted was they wanted a bunch more agents to be able to process people, to let them into the country with absolutely, just kind of, here, just come on in. Right? Yep. Like you said, they just wanted ticket takers there at the toll gate.
Right. Yes, and under Donald Trump, when it was, at its most effective, you were looking at 10 to 20,000 people a month doing, processing, coming through,
right.
And doing what was going on. You're at over 200,000 a month right now is where we are. So do the math, folks. You could see where it's gone.
Exactly. And yet you can't get a straight answer out of this White House. Because in the end, what they know, and by the way, that's the reason why they keep talking about MAGA Republicans and the threat to democracy and all of that, because they don't want you to see what is happening. They don't want you to know what is truly happening at our southern border. There is, and I can't think of no other way to put it, there is an invasion of the United States through our southern border. And people are coming from countries all over the world, not just South America and Mexico, but people from all over the world are recognizing that if they want to get into the United States illegally, all they got to do is enter through our southern border, and they will just be escorted right in.
Yep, that's it. How you doing? Come on through. This way.
All right. Well, so Mike, there is another politician who is also she is not only a sanctuary city supporter or state supporter, but she also happens to be anti-gun. I know Karen Bass, very nice lady, but left wing, out of control. Does not believe in the rule of law. Individual, right? And she's now currently a congresswoman. She used to be Speaker of the California Assembly. Well, now she's running for mayor of Los Angeles. And recently, this candidate for mayor of Los Angeles had her home burglarized. Someone broke into her home while she was not there, and only stole. This is all they stole. Were two firearms that were in supposedly in a locked gun case. So in other words, these were locked up. They don't say in the story whether or not the gun case went missing. All they said was the guns were locked up and now the guns are no longer there in the home. Mike, I'm finding this quite suspicious. Now, mind you, there were electronics, there was jewelry, there was other stuff of value there in the home. Yet the only thing that was taken were the guns?
Yeah, yeah. Craig, I'm just checking the news. The the two burglars, the two suspects, were arrested a couple hours ago. So hopefully we'll get to the answers, the real answers, right? And she's scared right now, right? Because her story is they took the guns from the locked security case. Because what's the California law for storage of firearms, Craig? They got to store them in a locked security case, right?
They're supposed to
Well,
be now
guess what?
locked in a secure case. Now, this may wind up
Yeah.
being an impetus for a new law where they're going to have to have certain requirements for how the cases now got to be locked down. They already have a law right now where if you store it in your car, it's got to be attached to the lock the case has to be attached to the frame.
Yeah. Which is they make cases like that with cables, and you lock them on the inside. It's actually pretty good stuff. But
Yeah.
so there's ways to do that. But here's what's going to happen, Craig. They're going to get these two guys in there, and you're going to get you a couple of detectives, and they're going to bring them in the box and say, "What'd you take? We took these two guns. Where were the guns? Oh, one was in the nightstand, and the other was on the kitchen counter." That's what they're going to find out. They're going to find out that she believes, as all Democrats do when it comes to firearm laws and firearms enforcement, that they're above the law, Craig. That she could do what she wants, and she could store these firearms the way she wants to. And these two criminals are going to go, no, yeah.
And they're going to say, "Well, why would
case.
you take a criminal's word who stole?" I know. You know what? You know what I think? You know what I think? And I heard someone say this, and I'm wondering. I'm like, maybe, just maybe she shot somebody with those guns. They're actual crime guns, and she was just disposing of them.
I'm just hoping that these criminals are dumb and resourceful, as we see many today when they're committing crimes and they had GoPro going, so you could actually see them coming into the house. Here's my GoPro video. Look what I did. Because now criminals don't want to be accused of something wrongfully they did, so they're videotaping themselves to say, "No, I didn't murder anybody. I just did the robbery."
Funny stuff. Speaking of funny stuff, let's move on to our parting shot. Our first one actually is very much in line with our lead story today, having to do with Kamala Harris. Now, by the way, she is the queen of word salads. I don't know who writes her stuff, who puts these things together for her, but somebody really needs to work with her on her ability to speak English. This is her response when asked about, are we secure? Is our border secure? She says, our border is secure because we secured the border by securing the border with security. So the border is secured by the security that we secured for the security of the border. Now,
She's looking a little green in that photo too. What are they doing to her? What are they?
She
feeding
was
her
looking
up
a little
there
green in
in
that photo.
DC?
Now, though that is not a direct quote, but that is pretty close to what she said, and we can
That's
apply
what I heard her say.
that sort of speech to actual instances of things that she has actually said.
That's actually better than what she said. When you listen to her speak, she said, "Okay, well, we have the border, right, and trees with the wind and hamburger." You're like, what in the world is she talking about? She's just putting words in there. Just add more words; it'll be fine.
Exactly. The funniest part about it, though, is that she says it in a way in which, like, she's talking to stupid people. Like, she is so much smarter than we are, and what she is saying is so, like, it is like she is giving us a new truth. And it's nothing but...
Well, she says everything in a condescending way, right? So,
right. Exactly.
And we all sit here and look at her and go, "You poor schlep." You poor schlep.
Right. Our next few, and we have actually we have got three more parting shots, and these are all in honor. We got to get these in because, the whole passing of the torch from Queen Elizabeth to King Charles, that whole period. I mean, we don't want to lose that news cycle. We're on the outside of that window, but these were too good not to share, so we're going to go ahead and share them. The first one has to do with the first time that Keith Richards met Queen Elizabeth. You want to describe this one, Mike?
Says, I've seen a lot of tributes today, but when Keith Richards posted this picture of him meeting Queen Elizabeth for the first time. I finally lost my stuff and cried with the rest of the world. And here's the picture of Keith Richards. I don't know. He looks he looks a little younger than he does now, but there he's holding the infant Queen Elizabeth. You know, and
That's right. Keith Richards is a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm not
No,
saying.
he's a
I'm just saying.
Highlander. He's one of those immortals. You listen, every time a musician dies, Keith Richards gets a little stronger. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So
There can be only one.
there could be only one. Yep.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. This is, folks, this is hilarious stuff. This is hilarious stuff. All right, now the next one, Mike. We all know Disney has gone full woke, right? I mean,
Yep.
is there any doubt that Disney is now full woke?
Oh no. They're ridiculous beyond comparison. There's and listen, I get to sit here and listen to all the news of the world of where people are just boycotted. If I show you my news feed, it's about people complaining the cost and the politics. We're never going again.
Right.
You know, that's what you get.
Well, you know that. Well, let's just put it this way: Disney is announcing that they're doing a new movie about Queen Elizabeth, and you know that there's been a big uproar about their casting in The Little Mermaid. Yeah. Well, they've decided that they're going to follow that same suit in the casting of a movie about Queen Elizabeth II. It says here Disney announces movie about Queen Elizabeth II, and it has an African American or a woman of African descent who they are saying is going to be portraying the Queen, and people are going to thus lose their minds.
Looks like a young Arsenio Hall. I don't. Look at that hair. Look at that hair.
I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to fictional characters, I don't care. I mean, no, I guess if the person playing it works, then it works. Yeah. It's not as big a deal for me. But when you start doing things like changing the actual race of someone who's a real figure, that's when it starts to bother me. Right.
You know, and let's go off for a moment. What's the play with with all the founding fathers? Oh man,
Hamilton.
I'm drawing a blank. Hamilton. Okay, so they changed, some of the races, the characters there, but it's a play, okay?
Right.
And everybody went into this knowing that we chose, characters based on their stage performance. And I get that it's a play, and you knew ahead of time there was some, it was 80% accurate. There was some stuff. It was, there was never any singing and dancing, as far as I know, from the founding fathers. But this was a play. But evidently now that's what they want again in all the movies. Well, if an Asian actor is the best, that they should be able to play a black woman. No, okay, it's just we want real. If you want to have credit a line right at the beginning of the movie saying this is a farce and nothing is really accurate. Okay, maybe, but when I want to see a play about Abraham Lincoln, or a movie about Abraham Lincoln, you know what I expect to see? A tall, thin, white dude with a beard with no mustache. That's I expect to see somebody that looks like Abraham Lincoln.
Right. Exactly. Well, and once again, it goes back to, like I said, the idea that when it comes to stuff like this and the casting, I'm like this. The people who have an issue, though, this is about like The Little Mermaid or about Annie or any of those. I'm like, no one had a problem with Charlton Heston playing Moses or Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra or who's the guy who played Pharaoh? Bald dude. All of a sudden now it skips. Anyway, my whole point is
Yul Brynner.
There you go. I mean, once again, I have more issue with people playing real life people than, especially when there are quality actors who can play that. I also, though, I do get okay, look, you know what? Little Mermaid was white. I mean, you saw the cartoon. She was white. The idea of changing it just for the sake of being woke. Now, if that person was the best person, the best actress that you could find to play that role, I'm okay with that. But when you do it just because your goal is to be woke, I got an issue with that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, same here.
Getting on to our last one. This is a simple one. Artist formerly known as Prince.
There he is. That's the artist formerly known as Prince.
Prince
Right there.
Charles, but Prince
at him.
nonetheless.
He looks like he's jamming. He's got some skills there. That looks like a C chord he's pulling. You know, that's
Well,
pretty nice.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough about music to know, but anyway, I will leave that to you, Mikey. We got to rush because we are up against the clock again. You want to do me a favor and give a quick shout out to our sponsors?
Hitman Industries. Check out hitmanindustries.net. Hitmanindustries.net. Get yourself a barrel for your AR or your AR build. California Republican Assembly. Make sure you reach out and say hi to them. And you want that cool tactical gear, go to uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Links in the description to this program. Please check them out and do us a favor, check them out. And if you like what you see, spend some money with them. Let them know that the guys over at the Rundown sent you. On that note, we are going to be out of here. We will see you tomorrow on Feedback Friday. Don't have too much fun without us.